Okay, so I think that we're all here, so we're going to get started with class. Today, we're going to be talking about the multi-drug EFFLUX pump. So this part is a really big portion of your exam, so make sure you pay attention. So the EFFLUX pump.
Where am I? Hello?
Hey Lauren, welcome to class. We're going to go on a little field trip.
Who is that? Who is that?
Hurry up, get on the bus.
I'm here, let me in.
So class, we are now entering the phospholipid bilayer.
Oh yeah, that's the outer membrane, and that's the periplasm, and then the inner membrane.
Now in front of us is the E. coli multi-drug resistant EFFLUX pump. It's composed of 4 different structures: TOL-C, AcrA, AcrB, and AcrZ.
Wow, that's so cool. What does it do?
It's a multi-component transporter that binds to multiple drugs such as antibiotics and anti-cancer drugs. It's also part of the R&D family and is one of the reasons for the drug tolerance of E. coli. Now let's take a closer look at the structures. We can start with TOL-C. So TOL-C is a homotrimer with the alpha helix trans periplasmic channel. It's composed of a 12-stranded alpha-beta barrel, and it has interhydrogen bonding.
Oh yeah, I see that the interhydrogen bondings are involved with amino acid residues arginine 367, threonine 152, aspartate 153, and tyrosine 362.
Yes, these bonds contribute to the constriction or closing state of the channel. Now we can move on to AcrB. An AcrB is an inner membrane transporter protein. 3 AcrB protomers make a homotrimer. Each protomer is composed of a funnel-shaped transmembrane portion that contains 12 alpha helixes. Now, let's move on to AcrZ. AcrZ is a 49 amino acid inner membrane protein that is associated with the AcrB complex. It is shown to have high sensitivity against certain substrates. Therefore, it is hypothesized that AcrZ helps AcrB find different anti-drugs to excrete out of the cell. So lastly, we can move on to AcrA. AcrA is a membrane fusion protein, meaning it functions to hold together TOL-C and AcrB. It forms a hexamer and 2 protomers. There's protomer 1 and protomer 2. It also has a short helix-turn-helix motif.
Yes, I see that there are 2 protomers, protomer 1 and protomer 2. I also see multiple beta barrels that are present, as well as a lipoil. A pair of AcrA protomers interact with one AcrB protomer, right?
Yes, we can also move on to the interactions now between AcrA and TOL-C. So in AcrA, you can see disulfide linkages between AcR and the AcrB dimers, which includes the residues serine 273 in the beta barrel of AcrA and serine 258 in the hairpin motif of AcrB. Now we can look at the interactions between TOL-C and AcrA. So in the first section, you can see asparagine 145 in the TOL-C interacts with leucine 132, serine 139, and lysine 140. And this is all part of the protomer 2 of AcrA. In this next section, you can see T366 of Toll-C interacts with L132 and V364 of protomer 1 of AcrA.
So how does this E. coli multi-drug resistance efflux pump function?
As a general overview, when a substrate, usually a small hydrophobic antibiotic, binds to AcrB of E. coli, causing AcrB to undergo distinct conformational changes. AcrA and Toll-C interactions are then broken, and the substrate can travel up the Toll-C channel and out of the cell. This is how E. coli can develop drug resistance. If we take a closer look at AcrB and the substrate interactions, what do you see?
I see interactions between amino acid residues methionine 573, tyrosine 327, phenylalanine 136, and serine 134.
Correct. It's believed that these different residues play a very important part in building the hydrophobic pocket of AcrB. In particular, tyrosine plays an active role in pushing substrates towards the deep hydrophobic bonding pocket.
So what happens after the substrate binds to AcrB?
So AcrB will go 3 different conformation changes, and each one is always at a different stage of the conformation. These changes are dependent on a proton motive force. So scientists are still trying to determine the process of the proposed residues that form this proton pathway in AcrB. So first, there is the L or axis conformation, which contains a hydrophobic bonding pocket. Then it goes into a T conformation or tight binding. This is separated by a switch or phenylalanine, and we saw that when we looked at when the antibiotic bonded. And then lastly, there's the O conformation or the releasing conformation. So these changes in AcrB cause movement of the inner helices and breaks the ionic linkages in AcrA. This leads to the inner hydrogen bondings in Toll-C to break and open up the channel. So then the antibiotic can shoot up and leave the cell.
Wow, this pump is amazing. This is the best efflux pump ever. That was such a weird dream.